Hey everybody, this is Brandon Bakei from ProHomeVideos.com. I just want to take a second and do a quick tutorial about selection tools and the lasso tools in Photoshop. I'm going to go through all of them really quick, try to just highlight the different benefits of all of them. The reason I'm doing this, it's a very basic tutorial, but I've seen a lot of people just using the wrong tools for the wrong job. They kind of each have their own place. I was at a conference once where a guy spent about 20 minutes. We were at an After Effects tutorial, spent about 20 minutes trying to cut a basic picture out of a person, and we ended up, you sit there for 20 minutes watching someone do a job, and you just are screaming in your head to use a different tool. And honestly, I could have cut it out in probably about 30 seconds. And he just was not aware of the right tool for the job. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through. We have three pictures that I'm going to use. We have a basic picture of an apple, and for this one I'm going to show you all the different tools that we have in Photoshop for cutting something out, and then just kind of walk through and we can look at the different ones and different benefits. So first we have the lasso tool. This tool is basically you click, you hold, and you can just draw a circle right around. It's as easy as that. This is a great tool for someone who has a Wacom tablet because they can physically draw exactly what they want their selection to be, and it's exact. So it's a little better for the artist or for someone who's looking for kind of a more not finite edge. So it's a great tool to use, but very hard to cut an apple out with. Next tool that we have is the Polygonal Lasso tool. So for this, it's basically going to do exactly what it says. It's going to make a polygon. So you click, and it's going to always give you a straight line until you click, and then it gives you a new straight line. You click, new straight line. I mean, you can, if you take a second, you could cut an apple out, no problem with it. It's going to take a second, but and probably give you thumb cramps. But I mean, you could do this. It's not the craziest thing. If you double click, it'll automatically snap to the end. So if you start here, and you just double click, it's just going to snap right to the end. The reason I have those really curved edges is I've got this feather on up here. So if I do a bigger feather, you can see harder curves. If I get the feather off, you're going to see these really sharp corners. So that's how you can feather the corner. Something like, if you're using this for an apple, you're going to want it to be very, nice and feathered, so it's just going to make that circle for you, because that's, pretty much where you're headed. So after that, we've got the magnetic lasso tool. This is just another lasso tool it's actually a really nice tool. What it's going to do is it's going to snap to edges, and the snap is pretty much involved with color, so you can see it's actually finding the apple pretty well. It has a little trouble in the shadow, but it's still finding it okay. And you come up here. The problem with it is there's a lot of user error. See, I went too high, and so it snapped to what it thought I was looking for. And I mean, it's not an amazing tool, but it's a pretty cool tool. It's only going to work when you've got that nice separation of color, though. If I've got a green table that I'm trying to bring it around, it's not going to know what I want. So it's going to snap to everything. So the other set of tools that we have these this quick selection and the magic wand tool. First, the magic wand tool. Magic wand tool is going to select based on colors. So green apple sounds great. You click, okay, it was pretty good. If you hold shift, you can actually add more, like another color range to it. You can click, it's getting a little off. So what you can do is you can hold option on the Mac or alt on the PC, and you can subtract colors. So you want to take those, kind of put us back where we were. Other option is you can change the tolerance, so you can raise that a little bit. So let's click that. See, it's just adding everything now. So we'll get rid of this, get rid of that. Let's just try to add this. See, it's still snapping the table. A real great benefit of this magic wand tool is going to be, if you had a red flower sitting on a white table and you click that red flower, it's just going to snap to the edges, and you're going to be cut out. It's going to be it's a great tool for something like that. The hues are just kind of a little closer than you probably want, so it's not really sure exactly what you want. Plus, the shininess on the apple is not helping things. I mean, when you look at this, how white that is, and then how white it is up here, it thinks those are the same, so it doesn't really know what I want. One of the best tools, my favorite tool, what I don't see people using, and I don't know why, is the quick selection tool. You take this, and all you do is you click. You can just drag around, and boom, snapping. Look at that, apple selected. You know, 3 seconds and you're done. You've just cut out that entire apple. You go and move that, it's gonna cut it right out, and you've got your apple. You can do whatever you want with it. It's pretty amazing. It's super quick, and people need to use it so much more. So we've got, if you take your quick selection tool, literally just drag it around and it's going to make that selection for you. If you accidentally drag it out here, everything you click is just going to add to it. All you have to do is, if you hold Option or Alt in the PC, you can just get that minus sign and you can just say, no, I don't want this, and no, I don't want this, and it'll just take it off for you. If you don't want to mess with it too much, you just bring it all in and then just let it add it for you. So just get that snap right back into it. Alright, so what you can do from here is, if you go ahead and right click, you can actually feather your edges inside of that, or you can refine the edges. I can go into that in another tutorial. There's kind of all different options for that. So I'm going to, well, if you actually select the inverse, you can just delete the background if you wanted to. If you want to start over with something, you have your fresh apple, and you know, you can put whatever you want behind it if you don't want to take that into a new project. So I'm going to deselect this. I'm going to go into our next one. Our next one, you can use the Polygonal Lasso because it's straight edges. I mean, it would definitely work for this. You know, you can get something pretty close to probably what you're looking for, you know, with something like that. You know, very finite lines, you know, it's your polygonal tool. But still, if you go in and use your quick selection, you know, you can get something pretty close to what you're looking for just by dragging it around. Again, it's just looking for these colors, so it's going to snap to most of the edges that you're looking for. What you do have to watch out for is these, the letters, you know, sometimes within these little lines within, you know, what you're trying to select are not going to be selected, so then when you move it to another project, you'll have just little gaps in color, little issues. Now with all this darkness over here, it doesn't know what I'm looking for, so, you know, perhaps the Polygonal Lasso tool is going to be the best option for this one. You just have to, it just depends on where you're going, what you want it to look like. Alright, so I'm going to deselect that one. And lastly, in an attempt to stay very topical, the late great, well, I guess it's to your opinion, the late great Davy Jones has died, and we'll have a moment later. But right now, what we can do is we'll take our quick selection tool. It's got all these options up here, and basically all the brush options are the same, and you can just drag around and it's just finding Davy Jones. It finds his shoulders, it finds everything, and it even does a pretty good job with his hair. So you can click and just add, and you know, until you get, you know, as close as you want it to be. So it's a great tool, and I want you to not only use this one more, but just look through and use the one that's going to apply, and use the one that makes the most sense to you, whether it's the magic wand tool, the quick selection tool, or one of the lassos. And just stop using the same tool over and over and over again. I mean, there's a whole tool shed over here. You should be using the right one for the job. And you know, for Davy Jones, poor Davy Jones, but he's got, you know, how long did it take us to make that entire selection in the quick selection tool? You know, you shouldn't be using the lasso to snap over this, you know, and all the way around. You know, and we're lucky to have a good clean background too, so that's obviously going to help a lot. And you know, the hair, you can actually get in there and you can, you know, drop this brush down and really edge out a lot of that stuff. Add some of these if you want to. You can also just feather it and get that nice clean, you know, so it looks like, you know, you're creating your own loose hairs basically by feathering it. So please comment, subscribe, let me know what you think, let me know what you want to know, and thanks for listening. This is Brandon Bakei from ProHomeVideos.com.